Hi guys, this is Wednesday, May 13th, and today we're going to be talking about text evidence and answering questions. How do we use text evidence and answer questions using the text? That's basically what we're doing today. So, what is text evidence? Remember, text evidence is how we prove our answers to questions are correct. We have to go back into the text to prove that we are right. So, when we're studying the text, we're telling where in the text we found the answer. So you say, I know this because the author said on page blank, it states, or the author said this. I read on page, let's say 5. Oh, the picture on page 4 shows blah, blah, blah. Because the author said, I think. So those are questions that you would use when you're trying to do text evidence. So moths is a moth. Is it a moth or is it a butterfly? We're going to be reading this text together. And we're going to be reading a passage about moths and butterflies. As I read, I'm going to be listening for important details in the text. Because this is talking about moths and butterflies, I'm going to listen for things that are the same and different between the two. Okay? So let's start reading. Sometimes people have a hard time telling moths and butterflies apart. They both have 4 wings, a body, and 2 feelers on their heads. They both start out as eggs from which they hatch as caterpillars. Caterpillars of both types build cocoons from which they leave as adults. But butterflies and moths are different from each other in important ways. Butterflies are usually out during the day. Their bright colors like yellow and red help them blend in with their flowers in the sunshine. Moths are usually out at night or at dusk and dawn. Colors like gray and brown make it possible for moths to fly in the dim light without being noticed. Oh, moths and butterflies also have different body shapes. Butterflies usually have smooth, thin bodies. The bodies of most moths are fatter and covered with hair. When butterflies rest, they usually hold their wings straight up over their backs. Most moths rest with their wings spread out on their sides. Perhaps the best way to tell the two kinds of insects apart is to look closely at their feelers. Most butterflies have thin feelers, each of which has a knob at the end. The feelers of most moths are more like a comb and do not have a knob at the end. Hmm, I already remember some of the differences and some of the similarities of both butterflies and moths. So, this is exactly the work that you're going to be doing. There's 2 ways that moths are different from butterflies. Okay, so I'm going to have to go back to my text. So, how do I list 2 ways? I have to go back to my text. It says, oh, here's one thing that the butterflies are during the day, but moths are usually out at night or at dusk or dawn. So that's something that I would underline in my text. So I'm going to make this smaller. And I'm going to put a line right here. And that's me highlighting what I'm going to use. I'm going to make that line color like a black one so that you could see it. So right there is where I would highlight exactly where I would find my answer in the text. And so I'm going to use that. I'm going to say moths are usually out at night or at dusk or at dawn. So I'm going to type that in. Usually out at night, dusk, or dawn. That's one way they're different from butterflies. Now I have to find the second way. Let's go back into the passage. Okay, let's go to the next part. Oh, look at that. Moths and butterflies have different body shape. Butterflies usually have smooth, thin bodies. The bodies of moths are fatter and covered with hair. So that'll be another way. So I'm going to underline that. Underline it so that you can see it. And that's what I'm going to put. The bodies of most moths are fatter and covered with hair. So I'm going to put that. Are fatter and covered with hair. Okay, so those are the two ways that moths are different from butterflies. And I used my text, so I'm using text evidence to find that answer. And here it says, list at least 2 interesting facts about moths. Okay, let's go back and see. What are 2 interesting facts about moths? I think this is a cool fact that most moths rest with their wings spread out on their sides. That is definitely something that's cool. I didn't know that, so I'm going to underline here. And then I'm going to also underline right here. Definitely part of the text. And move this a little, fix this a little bit. Okay, so that's definitely something cool that I'm definitely learned. So most moths rest with their wings spread out on their sides. Most moths rest. That's one cool thing. This is another cool fact right here. That the feelers on most moths are more like a comb and do not have a knob at the end. That's really cool because I didn't know that. So I'll make that darker and I'll make this darker so you can see it. So the feelers of most moths are more like a comb. Okay, I'm gonna type that in. They're like a comb. And what else can I say? What they also say? And do not have a knob at the end. Okay, let's go to our next question. Moths rest in different ways than butterfly. How are they different? Ah, I remember that because I put that in one of my other things. So moths rest with their wings on their side. And if I go back to the other ones when I was looking for something, see, moths rest with their wings on their side. So that is definitely how it's different. So as you notice, I used the text, I went back for my evidence, I underlined it, and then I was able to find my answers for the questions. I hope this helps you out. You'll be doing the same thing with your text. If you have any questions, please make sure that you reach out to your teachers. I hope you have an amazing day.